What is up, guys, and welcome to another video. This is one which I've been meaning to make for a while now, as I feel as though it's quite relevant for pretty much everybody who is watching. And I've had a surprising amount of DMs from guys mostly who've been asking for advice when it comes to dealing with heartbreak and dealing with a breakup. It is something that we all go through, and particularly the first breakup or the first heartbreak sucks the most. And we're not really taught how to deal with it. The things that we should do after we break up, how to process the emotions and the feelings. And if there's anybody who can give you some advice on ending a relationship and dealing with heartbreak and breakups, it's me. I'm 35 years old and I've got quite a bit of experience in the game, so allow me to try and help you guys in this video. The first thing we need to understand and come to terms with is the reality that the relationship has come to an end. Stop romanticizing and fantasizing about, oh, well, maybe there's a chance that it could work. Maybe, I can go back and try and rekindle this relationship which didn't work out. No, 99% of the time, it's done. It's over. It is finito. Okay, there's very few scenarios where it would make sense for you to get back with your ex, and usually that's just because the timing is maybe not right, or maybe there's a long distance between the both of you, or maybe you were or one of you was not in the best position to actually be in a relationship. Maybe your life was a mess and your finances were a mess. Maybe you've sorted yourself out now and there's a chance it could maybe flourish. But most of the time, it's not worth going back. It ended for a reason. Somebody lost interest. Probably because you're watching this video, the other person maybe lost interest, maybe you got ghosted, maybe they cheated on you. I don't know. But most of the time, because the relationship has come to an end and it didn't work out, it's not going to work out again. So come to terms with that fact. The next thing you want to do is to cut contact with that person. Now, when it comes to social media, what I have done in the past is I'm not the person that would block people. I think blocking is maybe a little bit childish unless they are harassing you. Maybe it's worth you actually blocking them in the first place. But my relationships most of the time have ended quite civilized and on relatively good terms, that any blocking was probably not unnecessary. What I would do is I would mute them. Okay, so I don't want to be reminded of everything that they're doing, what they're posting. And sometimes, if that other person has, finished the relationship and they want to move on with their life, usually they start to broadcast themselves to their followers, letting everybody know, hey, I'm single. Maybe the posts are a little bit more revealing. Maybe they're more frequent. Maybe they're just trying to get back at you and show that, hey, I don't need you. I'm living my best life. You do not want to be seeing any of that. So mute them. Okay. If you need to, unfriend them. Next thing you want to do, make sure that you are not going to the same places as that person. For example, it's been the case with me more than once where my ex would go to the same gym which I go to. So what I would do is I would just stop going to that gym and maybe go to another gym, because I don't want to see them every day. I don't want to see them talking to other guys. You just don't want that reminder of them. So try not to go to the same places which they are going to. Now, if you are in a situation where you have a business together, you're working together, or you have a child together, that is a little bit more complicated and you'll need to set up boundaries of some sort. I'm not an expert at giving advice in this particular scenario because I've never been in that situation before. I don't get into business with any of my partners and I'm yet to have kids. So I don't know. Maybe you need to look elsewhere for that advice. The next thing you need to do is to really feel the feels. These are the feels that you probably never felt before, and oof, they're powerful and they're not very positive, but you just need to let yourself feel them. You can't get rid of them. I would not advise you doing a load of drugs or a load of alcohol to try and numb those feelings. Maybe that could work temporarily, but once you get past that euphoria and the dopamine diminishes, you'll have a come down, and the feelings that you were feeling before will be twice as powerful, if not more, leaving you in a far worse situation. So you're better off at learning to deal with those feelings and understanding why you're feeling those feelings, as opposed to trying to numb them. And that's one of those things in life which just sucks. How can you go from being best friends with someone that you talk to every single day, someone who is the closest person to you at that point in time, and then all of a sudden the next day and onwards, they're just non-existent. There is no talk. There's no communication. It's like your best friend has died. Even though they're still alive, it gives the same feeling that they're dead, right? And it's brutal. It's one of the harsh things about ending a relationship, and it just is the way it is. You've got to almost try to stop romanticizing about the past. If the relationship has come to an end, you will often have a tendency, and I've had this before, where I keep thinking about all the good times, right? Especially when it always hits worse when you're lying in bed and your mind is wandering and you just keep thinking about that person and all the good times that you had. And you almost just forget about all the bad times and all the arguments you had. You have a way of just thinking of only of the good. But if you actually do think about all the reasons why maybe it didn't work out and all the bad situations and scenarios that you had, that can sometimes help at dealing with the fact that, oh yeah, this relationship didn't work out, and there's actually a very good reason as to why it didn't work out. There's probably points in that relationship where you may have been pretty unhappy and wanted to be single, so maybe focus on thinking about those negative thoughts a little bit more than the positives. One of the best things that you can do is to spend more time with your friends and to open up with your friends. Okay, your boys, I'm assuming most people watching this are guys, your boys are going to be the ones that will help you to deal with this. They've been through it before. You can open up to them, or should be able to open up to them, and they'll usually have words of encouragement to say to you. You'll often feel in a better mood after spending time with them, and it'll just give you an opportunity to vent. Now, unfortunately, not everybody has a good group of friends. Some people have less friends than others, and some people have friends who are probably not the best when it comes to giving you good advice post relationship, in which case it may be worthwhile you speaking to somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. For example, maybe some sort of a coach or a therapist. And that is why I'm proud to partner with BetterHelp in today's video. BetterHelp is an online therapy that makes it easy to talk to a licensed therapist whenever and wherever it works for you. Even when your friends might mean well, sometimes it can be hard to open up. Maybe you don't want to seem weak, or maybe you're just tired of hearing the same old, oh, you'll get over it, bro. Stop moaning. The truth is, healing from a breakup takes more than time. It takes intention, and sometimes it takes support. That's where BetterHelp comes in. It's professional therapy done completely online, where you can text, call, or video chat with a licensed therapist anytime, anywhere. No awkward waiting rooms, no long wait lists, just real help when you need it. If you're feeling stuck, anxious, or like you're carrying too much from your last relationship, talking to someone can help you unpack it, understand it, and finally start moving forward. All you need to do is fill in a quick form, get matched with a therapist, and take that first step. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time. So if you're interested, head over to betterhelp.com/Mike Thurston for 10% off your first month. Something else that you must do post-relationship is to reflect and to learn. Now, this is very important because, there's probably a reason why that relationship didn't work out, right? And nobody is 100% to blame. More often than not, most people maybe did some things they shouldn't have done or should have done differently. And even if that person cheated, okay, maybe there's a reason why they actually ended up cheating in the first place. Maybe you did something or didn't do something which led to them deciding to make the decision to cheat. Or maybe you need to understand why it is that you ended up choosing somebody who would actually cheat on you in a relationship. Maybe you didn't do a good job of selecting the right partner to be with. So this is a very important moment of time where you need to just sit and reflect and think about everything. What could you have done better in that relationship? What could you do better next time around when it comes to choosing a partner? Ultimately, you want to learn from everything you've experienced so that you can be a better partner in your next relationship and just be a better judge of character when it comes to choosing that partner that you end up being in a relationship with. Next, you want to use this period of time to become your best self. You are going to transform yourself in many different areas of your life. You're going to go to the gym. You're going to get yourself in incredible condition. You're going to sort out your career. You're going to make the most money you've ever made before in your life. Every area of your life is going to improve. Okay, you should use this negative energy that you're feeling and channel it towards something that is going to benefit you in some way, shape, or form. You have to keep busy. You have to be productive. Whenever your mind starts to get idle, that's when you start to think, and that is when you'll start to probably feel even worse when you keep thinking about that person that you miss so much, because you are going to miss them. Okay, and you're going to miss them more if you sat at home doing nothing. So be productive, get out there and just do something, and do those things which are going to be of benefit to you. Ultimately, you want to level up so that when it comes to you re-entering the dating market, you're going to position yourself and give yourself the best chance that you can possibly give yourself in order to meet the best possible partner that you can find. Do you think the woman that you want to be with is going to be looking out for somebody who is sat at home, fat, depressed, and is making no money? Probably not. That person that you really want to be with is going to be out there looking for a winner, someone who has drive, purpose, ambition, and who looks after himself. Okay, so you need to be that person that your partner would actually want to be with. You also want to redefine the circle that you have around you. Now, a lot of time this happens when someone gets into a relationship. Because a relationship does require quite a lot of time and energy, you have to make some sacrifices and spend less time with the people that you maybe would have spent time with previously, right? I'm sure all you guys know of that one friend that you had that just disappears off the face of the earth because he gets into a relationship and you just never see him again. Well, you were probably that person as well. Maybe, maybe not. Now that you're single, you're working on yourself, you have more time, it's time to start meeting other people and redefining your circle, a stronger circle, so that, well, first of all, it's going to be better for you to deal with this whole post-breakup feelings and emotions because you'll have more people to talk to. But just generally having a stronger circle and a better network is going to be great for you in all different areas of your life. Next thing I would like to say is it's extremely important for you to be comfortable being single and alone. I think quite a lot of people don't do this. They have this idea in their head that they're petrified of being single and alone, and it just means that they jump from one relationship to the next. I'm sure you guys know of people who have just actually never spent any time single, and they just hop from one relationship to the next because that's just who they are. They haven't actually come to terms with what it might be like if they are by themselves. And what a lot of people don't understand is being comfortable being by yourself is probably one of the strongest things that you can actually do. There's nothing more powerful than being somebody who doesn't need anybody in their life, somebody who is very content with their own company and knows that, hey, I can be just fine and very happy without somebody else in my life. And it means that you're not necessarily pressured into immediately finding someone just because you don't want to have those feelings of being alone. Those people that cannot deal with being alone usually end up maybe sacrificing the quality of their partners because they just want to be with somebody. Like, they don't care who it is, they just want to be with somebody so they don't have to deal with that feeling of being alone. Okay, if you take me, for example, I'm so comfortable and happy with the life that I've created. I don't actually need anybody in it. I'm super happy being single and be by myself. Now, of course, do I want to be with someone? Yes, I do want to be with someone, but I want to be with the right person that's going to either complement my life or at least make it better in some way, shape, or form. I'm not desperate to find somebody because I'm so miserable just being by myself. And then, of course, eventually you do want to start getting back into the whole dating scene. Now, everybody will have their own approach to this and they'll get back into it when they feel like getting back into it. Something which I have noticed being a man and just being the man that I am, I do find that getting back into dating pretty soon can help just because it allows me to build up my confidence when it comes to dating. Because when I've gone through a period of time, maybe 2 years where I've not spoken to another girl, I can be pretty rusty and it can be pretty intimidating going back, into dating again and not really you've lost your mojo a little bit. So you need to regain it, and you regain it just by going on a couple of dates, I find, and you just build up that confidence again. But unfortunately, it usually is the case whenever you do go on those first few dates, they just generally suck. because, you can't help but compare that person to your ex-partner. And your ex-partner was probably, pretty great in all different aspects of life. And this person just maybe is nowhere near on their level. But it is what it is. Maybe you're one of the lucky ones who actually does, within a very short period of time, meet somebody who is better or an even more of a suitable partner than your previous partner. But it does take a little bit of time to, filter through all the candidates which aren't going to be very good for you until you actually find someone who's worth being in a relationship with again. But I don't think it's healthy for you to completely isolate yourself and just not speak to anybody for an extended period of time. I think it's healthy to start, talking to other people again and getting out there. I don't think dating apps are the best. I think one of the best things you can do is just go and socialize and just meet people, put yourself in situations where you're going to come across other people who share similar values and hobbies to which you share. And then eventually you just end up hitting it off with somebody who you actually really get along with. So to summarize, healing, it takes time. It sucks. Okay. Even, at the age that I'm at now, when relationships come to an end, it's pretty sad, especially if you really like them and that relationship has actually lasted quite a long period of time. But time usually is the best healer. Okay, there is no quick fix. There's no magic solution, no pill that you can take that will immediately just make you feel better the next day. From my experience, all you can do is just understand why you feel the way you do and just keep yourself busy. Keep occupied and focus on yourself and just elevating yourself, your life, and your career. And even recently, I would have thought that, because I've gone through this so many times before, it wouldn't faze me when I come to ending relationships. But every now and then there still will be one that rocks me and just makes me just fall to the ground almost. I would say I'm certainly a lot more better prepared at dealing with hard breakups, but it's not to say it still doesn't fucking hurt and you can't stop thinking about that person. All right. Even recently I had one where still I was so surprised at how every day I was still thinking about that person. I was like, why am I still stop thinking about this person? Why are you thinking about this person? And in reality, what I think it just was an indication that, hey, I actually really did like that person. But for reasons I won't go into, it just didn't work out and they weren't a suitable partner for me. But as I mentioned before, when you do go through these periods of reflection, it's often worth just being thankful for the experience which you have had. Of course, there was the highs, there was the lows, but be thankful for everything. Be thankful for the opportunity that this person came into your life and for everything that they have taught you, the good things they taught you and the bad things they taught you, because ultimately these relationships make you stronger. They make you more resilient and just better at navigating through life and picking the right partner. And even just knowing, okay, very early on into a new relationship you might have formed, you might know now, okay, this is a person who is not going to be suited for me, or maybe, yes, this is somebody who is going to be suited for me. One of the best things that I can say about all the experience I've had from dating is that I'm such a better judge of character now. And I just know very early on whether this person is going to be a right fit for me or whether they're not going to be a right fit for me. And if you can just see it in a positive light, whereby it is the end of a chapter, you will now be starting a new chapter. It is the death of your previous self and it is the rebirth of your new self. You can usually feel a whole lot better about everything. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you. If it has, maybe I should start making more like this, but I'm certainly not a dating coach or a relationship coach. I still to this day am learning things all of the time. Even with each new relationship that I have, I just learn something new about relationships and myself. So I'm far from perfect, but I still feel as though there's some little gems of wisdom that I can give out to you guys. If I could just speak to my younger self, my 21-year-old self, who was very naive and he was a guy who would fall in love very easily. I feel like I could have definitely helped that younger me navigate through it all a little bit better. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.